Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Saturday Show. My name is Tracy. I'm glad that you are here. We're gonna get started. Before I get started, it's time to pay a couple of bills. Um, please subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm trying to go to the other window to see how many subscribers I actually have. I think I'm down to 287. Um, And of course, the goal is 300, but I'm going to check here really quick. Um, Hopefully, y'all be able to notice. Um, I'm still seeing, guys. I'll be with y'all here just a moment. Okay, so I still have 288. So I still have 288 subscribers. I had 289, but for some reason, someone decided not to subscribe anymore. So please subscribe. I don't know if I'll get to 300 by the end of the year. It seems to be like fading away, but I want to get as close as possible. So please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. It literally costs nothing to subscribe. Um, you can also support me on Patreon. Um, Patreon support starts at $2 a month. Next week, I will be announcing the exclusive Patreon podcast I'll be doing. But you can only see it, of course, if you support on Patreon. That'll start at $2 a month. And there's the link. The Destroy the Duopoly Awards are December the 14th at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I didn't put it in the announcements because I was running late today for some reason. I'm just like running late, so I apologize. But the virtual scavenger hunt is February the 1st, 2025 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be $20 to attend. I'm going to find the link here and put it in the chat section. I'm just trying to put it here so that you can get your tickets and support the channel, because one of the goals of the fundraiser is to raise $1,500 so that I can buy better equipment. And so it's February 1st, 2025, 2 p.m. Okay. Here's the link right there. And also remember, I'm going to keep that link up there just a little bit while I add these. You would think, well, I usually have this added. So, and also remember, we have our 25 likes. We have our 25 likes. We're asking 25 people to like this page or to like this podcast. Um, you can just simply hit the like button. That helps us get in the algorithm where YouTube will suggest us to people. I'm definitely needing your help to do that. And of course, we still want 15 people to share this podcast. Definitely do that to help me out as I try to figure out how I'm going to get 12 more subscribers when I was only down 11. Actually, I was down 9. I was like up to 291 and somehow fell to 288. I don't know where the 60 y'all went, but please come back. I'm not going to beg, but just consider it. Probably said something somebody didn't like, but it is what it is. So, you see the title of today's show. Oh, and remember to comment. If you're watching this live, please comment. So, you see the title, Sitcoms Everyone Loves But I Hate. This list, it's not a long list, so I don't expect this show to be very long. Of course, I say that and I always go an hour, but I don't think this show will be an hour because I only have like 3 or 4 shows. No, I have 5. I don't think I'm going to talk 20 minutes about why I can't stand these shows. So let's get started. So, um, I'm actually, you know what? I don't know, um, why people like Dynasty. I just couldn't get with it, right? It was like, it's like fake Dallas, right? It's like, well, if I wanted to watch Dallas, I would just turn on CBS and watch Dallas. I mean, they had the same plot line, except for they were in, I think, Colorado, and Alexis Carrington. And how do I know these characters' names? Because everybody talked about it. Like, people loved the show. I know my aunt, Pamela, she loved the show. My mother loved the show. I'm just like, this show is terrible. I mean, they had just over the top shoulder pads, over the top, just over the top drama. Um, I'm trying to get. I'm sitting here thinking, is this gonna do? I just didn't get it. I didn't get, and the characters, like, they were all like Dallas copies, right? Except for you had um the guy John Forsythe. I forget. I'm gonna just call him Bob Carrington. So I guess he used to be married to Alexis. They got divorced, and he married Crystal. And then Crystal and Alexis didn't like each other, and it was cat fights. And then they added Diane. It was just terrible, and the acting was like this. This is their dialogue. Okay, so I'm gonna do both Crystal and Alexis. Crystal would say, Alexis, stop trying to tear my marriage apart. And then Alexis would say, darling, in her British accent, because I don't do accent, darling, I just want to be the most powerful woman in Colorado. Like, when did Colorado become like this state you had to be proud? No offense to the people out there from Colorado. I'm really not trying to offend you, but she was trying to be like the most powerful person in Colorado. Wouldn't you want to just be the most powerful person in America? That would make more sense to me. I just did not get Dynasty. And I said I was going to have 5 shows. I'm going to have more than that. So, next show that I could not stand, but everyone loved, MASH. I don't know if this show was a comedy. I don't know if it was a drama. It wasn't funny. It just dragged and dragged and dragged. Like, it was supposed to take place during the Korean War, which lasted 2 years. That show was on for, like, it seemed like for 5 or 6 years. It just was not. Like I said, I don't know whether the show was a comedy, or was it a drama, or was it like a dramatic comedy? Because sometimes you'll have like that, like it'll be like both. They did a poor job at both. They had I think they had a laugh track. I'm pretty sure MASH had a laugh track. And I'm sitting here thinking, what's funny? Like, war isn't funny? And they had Klinger. And why do I know these characters to shows that I like? Because everybody loved them. I didn't love them, but everybody loved these shows. Klinger, who dressed as a woman to get out of the military, but he never got out because everybody was onto his act. Then there was the Alan Alda character that was just way over the top dramatic. I'm like, dude, are you trying to win an Emmy or an Oscar? What is it that you're gunning for? Um, then it had that spin-off Aftermath, which nobody liked, thank goodness. But for some reason, people just love MASH, and I could not stand this show. I don't watch it in reruns. I never thought it was funny. The drama was like way, way over the top. Um, it just didn't make any sense. I'm like, okay, I just didn't understand why people watch MASH. And remember, everybody that's watching, comment please, so I know I'm not out here by myself. Please, please, and appreciate it. But I'm just, and why was the last episode like one of the highest, no, the highest rated season finale ever. I think people watched it to make sure like it was going off, or at least, I don't think I've ever seen that episode. I don't think I've seen. I don't think I've ever seen the finale of MASH, and like apparently millions of people watch this, and like it's still like the number one season finale ever. Why? Why were you watching? Were you hoping, like, were you making sure it was going off? That I could understand. I could like understand it. Or were you just like, I can't say goodbye to this show? What was the point of this show? Like they were supposed, like, were they supposed to make the war like funny, or was this an everyday look? Oh, it was just too much. It was too much. It's like, do you really need all of that? Do you really need all of that MASH? I just could not with MASH. I could not with MASH at all. Another show. Now, this was a weird one because this started out as a sitcom I didn't like as a child. But then when I watched it as an adult, I thought this show was brilliant. But I'm going to get to that show last. The next show that I didn't like, but everybody else seemed to love, was Barney Miller. Was this show supposed to be? This is another comedy that just, it wasn't funny. Like, they never left the police station. Like, every scene took place in the police station. I'm like, could you show something? Could you show like their lives outside the police station? I just never got this show. It just never was funny. It moved very slowly. The characters were unbelievable. I didn't like it. I don't understand why people watch it. I can't name one character off of it except for Barney Miller. Like, was he like the captain? Or was like he like the sergeant? Or was he just a cop? Or were they detectives? Or like, what were they? And like, people say this show was innovative. Innovative how? It was so boring, and it just moved at this like slow pace that I don't like for comedies. Like, I feel like when you're in a like you're going to have a comedy, like it should move at like a moderate speed, like not too fast where you're missing the jokes. Seinfeld was really good at that. Like they would move at a pace where they would allow the audience to get in on the joke. I think Barney Miller was a comedy, but it just wasn't funny. I'm just like, what the heck? Why did people watch this show? And please make sure to put your comments in here, because I literally don't understand why people watch Barney Miller. Why? And for those watching, could you name another character besides Barney Miller? Like, that's literally the only character I knew. There was the black guy. There was the Asian guy. Don't know what their names were. Like, I don't even know the actors who portrayed them. I think they both have passed, rest in peace. But I'm just like, why is y'all watching this? It's so slow. It just moved at a pace. And again, I'm going to go with this pacing. The pacing was not good for a comedy. You have to move at kind of like moderate speed. Let the audience catch the jokes. I never got the jokes. I think I watched like maybe 4 or 5 episodes. I'm like, no. And I was like, maybe I didn't watch it the first run, obviously. But I think I was like in my 20s or maybe early 30s when I watched the show. So I didn't have the displeasure of watching this crap when I was like a child, thank goodness. I don't get it. I don't get why. I don't understand. So far we got I said MASH, don't understand it. Barney Miller, and I named something else. Oh, Dynasty. So Dynasty was first, MASH was second, and Barney Miller was third. Another war show that they had funny episodes, but like overall I didn't like, was Hogan's Hero. This show, I think it annoyed me because we all knew that the American soldiers got captured on purpose. and they were spying. Okay, get that. But again, they did the old standard. The Germans are stupid, so let's portray them as stupid. Or were they in Germany? I forget how they. Okay, I forget. I'm trying to remember what camp they were in. So I think that was the. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to go with this one. Because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Um. And the first episode, it stayed on 6 years. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, the Colonel Clink, Buffoon, but they never said where they were at. It was a camp outside, aside, da da da. Although the prisoners had been abnormal and was heard, they were always constantly trying to mess with German help. For okay, I didn't. I don't really get Hogan's Hero. Like again, the pacing bothered me, the plot bothered me. Um, them. It's like they went. Like I said, they went to the old. The bad guy is stupid. Whereas if they had made him a little smarter, then maybe I would have gotten it right. Maybe I've been like, oh well, okay, this is different. I mean, Springtime for Hitler did it because, of course, they made Hitler look like a buffoon, and that's why it was funny. They made Colonel Klink look like a buffoon, but it was like sad. It's like, dude, how stupid are you? I could not with Hogan's Hero. I could not with Hogan's Hero. I just did not. I don't understand that show. I don't understand why people sat there and said, you know what, I'm going to watch a bunch of American soldiers in a camp trying to ruin it. I mean, the plot kind of made sense, but the show, just did not understand Hogan's Hero. Another show, and I'm trying to think the name of the show. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Um, this show, I didn't like it from the beginning. People loved it, but then they got on my side, and that's V. V was the show about reptilian aliens who had like human faces, like they had human skin, but if you ripped it off, like they were lizards under. When they ate the rat, I was done. I'm like, no, nope, 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 nope. Why are people watching this? What is this? Why are people watching people eat rats? I know it wasn't a real rat. I'm hoping it wasn't a real rat. But mm-mm. No, no, no. No, no. And how long did V stay on? V was on like 3 years, maybe? Okay, so V, the TV series. Oh, it wasn't okay, so it wasn't a rat, it was a gerbil. Okay, so it stayed on from 1984 to 85, so it was only on 1 year. And then it came back from 2009 to 2011. Um, just why? Ber, Branica. What? No, and it wasn't a rat. It was a rodent, but it wasn't a rat. I thought it was a rat, but I just looked at the picture and I'm like, okay, that's not a rat. Another show that I did not like, but everybody loved it was not Hill Street Blues. I love that show. Um, what was that cop show? Um, oh, it came on ABC, not Cop Rock, and it was like early '90s maybe. Let's see. People love this show. It wasn't New York Undercover. Um, no, 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 no. Oh my goodness, what was it? What was the name of that cop show? No, you can't speak with me. Sorry. What was the name of that cop show with what you would call? See, I can't even think of it, but I know it was on ABC. It stayed on like way too long. I'll remember it. I'll try to remember it. Um, oh, now this is gonna. Okay, and the actor's face is like I can see his face, but I cannot think of that show. Um, no, this is going okay. 1980s to 1990s cop shows ABC. NYPD Blue. That's it. That's it. NYPD Blue. Why? This show. Okay, so this was a drama, just straight out drama. But the problem was, I had already saw this show, and it was called Hill Street Blues, which I liked much better. Oh my gosh, New York, NYPD Blue was so slow. I'm like, are y'all gonna move anytime within this next decade? Or you're just gonna sit here, shoot somebody, have the dramatic music. Um, I don't understand why people watch this show. Also don't understand why people watch any of those um Law and Order shows like they're all the same. Law and Order, SVU, Law and Order, Crime Unit, Law and Order, Special Victims, like all of them. Like they're the same. It's like they take stuff out of the headlines, then they do like a show based off of it, and you know what they're talking about. Like what? How has this show or the series of shows been on for almost 25 years? How? Why is y'all sitting here watching this? Like, stop watching. That also goes for the CSI, JAG, like all of them, like JAG, CSI, um, um, Law and Order, like all of those shows. They're just no, no, stop that. We don't know. No. Um, Another show that I like, or I didn't like, and everyone loved. Um, oh, what was that? It was on CBS. Not Falcon Crest. Love Falcon Crest. See, mm-mm-mm. Of course, there's Mayberry RFD, but that more goes less under spinoffs. So, um, I'm gonna say my big one for last because I know people are gonna disagree with it. Might just jump to it because I know I'm thinking of this show. Um, it was like a computer head person, like he was in a Max Headroom. Headroom. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know his name was Max. Yeah, Max Headroom. Oh, this show was just um it was like watching an AI presentation. Like every week. People love this show. And I'm sitting here thinking, we didn't have PowerPoint back then, but that's what I equated to. It's like watching a video game for like an hour. I did not get it. Another show that I did not like, but everybody seemed to love was Miami Vice. For what reason? I think what bothered me about the show, besides the terrible acting, was like the costuming. I don't know why that bothered me so much. But those pastel colors were just throwing me off. I'm like, what? And the fact that they made it into a movie. Like, if you're gonna pick a cop show to make into a movie, pick like Hill Street Blues or New York Undercover. Don't pick Miami Vice. Two bad actors just sitting there. Hey, Michael, because like I said, I only watched a couple episodes, so I don't know the characters' names like that. But oh, Miami Vice was so terrible. Miami Vice was so terrible. I'm picking mostly cop shows. I'm noticing that because I think the problem I have with cop shows is like once you've seen one of them, you've basically seen them all. Like, do you have to watch? Like, if you watch Hill Street Blues, you've already seen NYPD Blue. They have basically the same plots. They have the same dialogue. So a cop gets shot, and then they die, and then people question life and death. Blah blah blah. It's like the same thing um, every time. But now I'm about to pick a medical show, ER. Why did I think the only reason women loved the show was George Clooney. I can't think of nobody else. Wait a minute, I can. Eric LaSalle was on the show. The guy Eric LaSalle was in Coming to America, and he was Lisa's first lover, and then she ditched him for a king. Those are the only two I can think of was in that show. This show, it was so terrible. I'm like, why is this show moving so slow? And that's what I don't like in general. I don't like slow moving shows. I want you to keep not go like super fast like some shows do, but keep it at a speed where I can, follow. Well, it wasn't a comedy, so it can't follow jokes, but I'm gonna put ER and Grey's Anatomy. Well, no, I'm gonna take that back. I've never seen an episode of Grey's Anatomy, so I can't put it there because then I still wonder. Well, if you watch ER, did you watch Grey's Anatomy and House, which I actually did like? Um, don't know why people liked ER. Um, don't know why people liked. Oh, what's the name of that show? Um, I'm trying to think of the show. Was it on Fox? Oh, yo, I got stumped. I got stumped. Um, it was about the sheriff, and he lived in like in the sheriff's times, in like the cowboy age. Something about Briscoe County. Oh gosh, like there was like one episode I liked of that show. I could not. I could not with that show. Something something Briscoe County. Something something Briscoe County. Briscoe. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. Yes, that's what the show was called. Briscoe County Jr. is a fictional character played by Bruce Campbell. American Science Fiction. People are like, this show is so innovative. And it's so good. Look at this show. It was like, I'm pretty sure it was a sitcom. I'm just gonna go with that because that seems like to be the right answer. So I'm just gonna go with it was a sitcom and just leave it there. They tried to be different, but again, people love that show, and I'm sitting here scratching my head like, for what reason do you like this show? Another show that people loved, and I did. Well, the game shows are all because I don't. I'm not gonna count game shows. Um, da. I said medical shows. I did cop shows. Um, might want to switch it up. Well, yeah, I'm going to talk about a show I used to didn't like as a child. Watched it as an adult and thought, "Wow, this show is brilliant." And then I'll go back to my last pick because um, I literally ran out of shows. Isn't that amazing? A show that I didn't like as a child, but now I love as an adult is Taxi. You couldn't. I mean, when I was like maybe 11 or 12, I was watching this show and I'm like, this show is terrible. This show is so boring. And like when I was in like my later 30s, it's like, oh, I get it now. And it's one of those ones I'm glad I went back to watch because I'm like, oh, this show is so funny. The timing was right, but I was a kid or a child, because goats are kids. So I was a child, and so it would be, it wouldn't have made sense for me to understand that as a child. But yeah, I love Mash. Mash. I don't love Mash. I love Taxi. Didn't like it as a child, and I don't even know about it as a child. Maybe I wasn't supposed to get it and understand it, but I definitely understood it as an adult. Definitely understood it as an adult. Um, so I'm gonna get back to shows that everybody loved, but I could not stand. There's one I'm saving, and I'm just like, what is wrong with y'all? Why did y'all watch this show? Um, shows. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with it, and then we're gonna end up on the earlier note than I thought. So the show that I ultimately don't understand why everybody I know loves this show, and I'm just like, wait a minute, I got wait a minute, I got serious problems with this show. It's the Cosby Show. I cannot understand. Let me turn this light back on. I cannot, for the life of me, understand why people think the Cosby Show is funny. I didn't like it when it came on in the 80s. I don't like it now. It's just a black father who knows best. I can't with this show. It's not funny. The timing is way off. The writing is subpar. I don't understand. Yes, I get rolled over the rakes for me not liking that show. I can't watch it. It's like, what about this show is supposed to be funny? Like, and they would get into these like situations, like the parents leave town and they throw a party and they try to clean up, but something ends up broken. Um, but it's like, did they miss something? Did they miss like everything? Did they miss like, and it stayed on? How long did the Cosby Show stay on? Yep, this show stayed on way too long. Let's see. Yeah, but what was the first episode? Okay. So it started in 1984 and ended in 1992. That is 8 years. Oh, where that piece of crap stayed on for 8 years. I don't get. I really need somebody to explain to me, if you love this show, why. I have no problem with showing black people in upwardly mobile incomes. I think that's a great thing to do. What I don't think I liked about it is it just, not that that part was unrealistic to me, but it was unreal. Like the they just had a lot of jokes that missed to me, right? I just couldn't get into the timing for me was kind of off. It didn't move slow. It did not move at a slow pace. Like it didn't do this. It was more like this. And they had like inside jokes that were supposed to be funny. But I just could not understand why people thought the Cosby Show was even remotely funny. I don't get it. And that's even before I found out about Bill Cosby. I didn't know anything about the allegations against him while I was watching that show. Nothing. No, 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 nothing. Um, and I didn't like the show then. Don't like it now. Especially don't like it now when I start dissecting it. I'm like, they started off with 4 kids. She asked, why don't we have 5 kids? Because he's like, why don't we have 5 kids? Because we like having 4, whatever. And then all of a sudden, this extra daughter shows up, and nobody knows where she came from, but we accept her anyway. And they changed the whole house, right? The stairway used to be like if you take that stairway and flip it, it was like the other way. I know that to know all of that. Just not funny to me. Just not. So those are the kind of like I'm staying here like, yeah, just not. But um those are the ones, and I don't know if I'm gonna do a sitcoms everyone else hates but I love, because usually what I like most other people like also. So I probably not gonna do that. Um but I do want to hit some things before I leave. Remember to subscribe to this channel. Support me on Patreon. The Destroy the Duopoly Awards is December the 14th, 2024 at 6 p.m. The virtual scavenger hunt is February 1st, 2025, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're still asking 25 people to like this podcast, 15 people to share this podcast. I want to thank everybody. I knew I was going to try to keep this one short because I've been running around and it's a little bit of time for me to get some rest before I get on here at 7. I will be live tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. For my other podcast, for those out there wanting to know. On this one, I'll see you next week. I'm going to take myself down and do the outro, and I will see you this evening.